Hello, my friends. Hello, hello, hello. I'm back. I'm back. Didn't launch everything yet. 1 second. Missing few things. The webcam. Missing few things. Para pam pam pam. Okay, I think we are ready. Hey, we are ready. We are ready. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, so let me change the music. So what can we do today? I think a lot of people were complaining about the magic light and the size of the light, right? So the fact that the light was not really doing enough. So I think we can change that. It's not a big issue. It's just a matter of sides. Sorry, 1 second. 1 second. Where am I? No. Here. Ah, yes. Here. 2.6. So I think we can check it. We can check the sides of the magic light. Probably is not big enough, and I can check that. I can make it more. It should be very easy to do actually, because the magic light is actually a particle effect that has a light inside, right? And the light is managed pretty much like any other light in the game. So I think we can switch from, let me see if I can change the properties of the light to be to decay. I think we need to decay less. I think we need that to decay less. So magic light should be under particles. Under new particles we have spell new. I think it's under crystal, right? Or not. Magic light, where is magic light? Magic light, there it is. Yeah, it's under crystal. P magic light. So particle emitter, here it is. So this one is flagged as a light, right? And then I'm trying to understand here if we have the same no, we don't have. We have the color, we have the location, but we don't have. Okay, I think we can test it briefly. I think we can test it. We can open up test level or the client map. I think it's okay. The client startup map, right? So if I take magic light and I put it into this level, so that is what it does. Yeah, so the height is definitely making a difference. So where the light is definitely making a difference for sure. No, it doesn't look to be small, but probably. So that's the radius compared to the. Consider that the magic light is appearing pretty much in front of your character, right? So you can see, yeah, you can see in front of you, right? Because we don't want the light to actually cast a shadow on your character, right? So we want the light to actually. So, but yeah, I may say that at the moment it's not very big. Like if you have this here, it will be in complete darkness, right? And here it will be like 50-50. I just don't understand. Is the light centered? Yeah, I think it's centered here. I think it's centered here. Okay, so that is pretty much the a good setup to understand the extent of our light, right? Now if I turn it off, obviously is this one, right? Now in terms of required, let me see if there is any specific emitter duration, interpolation, macro position. All of that I think is not something that we need. Spawn is the number of lights that are actually spawning, so that is actually 20 per second. Let me see if I lower this, what happens. It will flicker more. Because it's actually lasting. But I don't think it's a good idea that it lasts 1 second. Why it should last 1 second? Because it can be because it can be shut off. So if I have it more than 1 second, when I need to shut it off, well, actually we destroy the object. So yes, let me try to put it like 10 seconds and 10 seconds, okay? And so I have a lifetime distribution now of 10 seconds. So if I do 1, why is pulsating like that? I mean, what's the point of pulsating like that? I mean, I'm a bit surprised that it's pulsating like that. Why this happens? Why this happens? Considering that at the moment I have a constant distribution of 1 per cycle or per second. Per second. Is the burst that is messing up with that? No, it's not the burst, because the burst at the moment is at 0. I'm a bit confused of why. Can we create a new emitter? Let me just create a new emitter. Let me just remove this one second, okay? So we will remove it. We have a very simple emitter, and this is a very simple emitter will only have light, okay? We'll only have light. Now, initial size, we say constant 500, 500, 500. So this is our light, right? And this one can be constant 1. Okay, initial velocity must be 0, so it must be centered always in the same spot. And then in terms of so this one should become a light though, right? So this one is now a light. Okay. Initial size 500 is the same. Initial velocity, we don't want a velocity. Initial location, distribution constant factor. What the? Can you copy this? Thank you. Initial location, light. Scale over life 0.06. Initial color. I don't understand too much why. I'm trying to understand what is the difference now between these two and why I don't get my light. And why I don't get my light. 500, 500, 500 distribution. So this one is identical now. Initial velocity. Here we have a velocity, but I didn't want to have velocity. Initial location 50, 120, 120. And it is identical, right? Because I copied over, so call over life, we don't have it. Light, I don't know, I can, you know, I can actually do this if you want. Yeah, so it was actually the light, the difference, huh? The light was the difference. So this light was the difference. So as soon as I put this light and not this light, it made a difference. So one is the inverse square. Okay. Wow. Okay. One is the inverse square that is making the, okay, I think I understand now. So the difference is that is this inverse square, and now I have one which is super bright. Okay, but the question still remains, like, why? The question still remains, why is doing this? I mean, why it seems to generate. And he's doing it also here, huh? Emitter duration, 1 second. So you think it's this one, huh? You think it's this one, emitter duration. In theory, emitter duration for us is infinite. I don't think I want, if I do 0, what happens? It's exactly the same. Okay, GG. I mean, I don't understand why I don't have a particle that is just standing still, right? That I don't understand. Why I don't have a part? Because it's like, you know, it's like when I added a new particle system like this, right? And then I say your initial size is 500 by 500 by 500, right? And then I say I don't want you to have a velocity, so you see that this one is standing still. And then I say your distribution is 1, right? And then I make it a light. But then it starts to automatically flicker, right? Like if it's like property of the light itself. Fraction of particles in this emitter to create lights on. What does it mean? Brightness over life. Brightness scale for the light, which can be set up as a curve over the particle lifetime. No, as a constant. Radius scale, constant 15, light exponent 16, volumetric scattering, high quality light, shadow light, lighting channel, channel 0. I mean, where is this pulsating thing coming from? I don't understand. Let me search real light particle pulsating. I don't understand why. Do you have any idea? Unfortunately, this is the Niagara version of it. Life cycle mode. I don't understand what I'm reading here. Hello, Piat Machine. I just want to have a light that is not pulsating, right? But it seems that as soon as you add a light, you know, it does this. I don't know why. I don't know why it does this. Now, to keep it stable, you know, one way is obviously to spawn 1,000,000 of them, and then it becomes stable. But like now, I'm spawning like 30 of them, right? But it's not really what I wanted to do, right? So if I do like this, it looks stable, but in reality, the reason that it's stable is because there are lights that are spawning continuously. Right? And I don't understand where is the parameter that is saying, even if I remove color over life, maybe in color, to array, in value 0, 1, maybe it's this one, huh? So here there are two values, right? At 0 is 1, and at 1 is 1 again. So in theory should have no, right? Can I make it constant? Let me make it constant. Maybe it's better. Let me make the color over life constant. Still doing the same. Okay, so I have the color over life constant to 1, right? There is the alpha. Maybe the alpha is the one that is fucking up. Value 1. Ah, probably is this one. Probably is this one. Constant 1. Holy shit. I don't understand what is going on. Why it has to blink this way? Don't understand. Scale over life. Can I say just uniform vector? I don't know. Like, just stand still. I don't know. No. I don't understand what is the difference, by the way, between float constant and float uniform. Float constant seems to have only one value. Float uniform seems to have two values, minimum and maximum. But still, as you can see, it's going crazy all the time. I don't understand really. Spawn fraction. What is this? What is this spawn fraction? Fraction of particles in this emitter to create lights on. Because at the moment I'm spawning one particle, and that one particle is living for let me let it live for 10 seconds. So in theory, I don't understand where this flash is coming from. I don't get where this flash is coming from. And it's all in one cycle because as you can see, and I created it from scratch. I just clicked on new particle. So if I make it not a light, right, I make it a normal particle and I remove the light, and you see, that is my sample particle. So it's basically one particle standing still forever, right? In this case for 10 seconds, and then it will disappear. But let's say if I substitute it with a particle, it's just one particle standing still, right? It is not flashing of any kind. It's only when I make it a light that it starts to go crazy. And even if I do, like now, I did one cycle of 10 seconds. You see that inside the 10 seconds is flashing continuously. So I don't understand. I don't know, maybe it was just designed this way. Maybe the light component here is just designed this way. I don't know, it's designed to flash for whatever reason. Because maybe more people need it as a flash, but I don't understand. So now basically color over life. You see that even it adds up, right? So it's adding up. Like if anyway, when you are in light mode, even if you said spawn one every X amount of seconds, and I don't have burst, right? I have burst disabled. I have 0 burst. Wait, no, there is a burst by default. Wait, maybe it's the burst. 0 burst. I have 0 burst, okay? I don't have process burst list now. I have 0 burst. I don't know, I can say rate 0, but obviously if I say rate 0, it will never appear, right? So I need at least one particle. Well, maybe I can do the opposite. I can have one burst at the beginning. But I think if I have one burst at the beginning, then if I have one burst, at the beginning. Count 1. Okay, like this it seems to stay. Yeah, I think the rate is spawning anyway. Even if you say that the exactly. The rate is anyway spawning, you know, every second. So you need a burst at the beginning, which is lasting forever. So now I have a burst list of 1 particle, and now it's standing still finally, right? And my rate is 0. Okay, I think I understand how it works now. So the only problem is if you turn it on and off, will it, yeah. I think that you need to recreate the particle anyway, because obviously the initial particle leaves for yeah, but I think it's okay. Okay, let me try to delete this one. Let me go back to the original. So if we go back to the original one, then right, this was the original guy. So what we need to do, we need to put the spawn rate to 0. We need to say that we want to have a burst list, and the burst list will pay 1 right? Okay, this is not really needed. And right, and the burst scale is 1. So I have one thing that is actually spawning 1 time. Okay, then velocity, I don't really need any velocity. Sides, yes, I need it. Oh my god, it flashed again. Why it flashed? It flashed because the lifetime is 10 seconds. So every 10 seconds is recreating a new object and is flashing somehow. But I think that is because I have a vector constant. So now it is flashing every 10 seconds. Which is a bit weird though, because the lifetime in theory it could be infinite. So if I say lifetime 0, yeah, you see, if I say lifetime 0, I think now we stay forever. Okay. This should be 0, eh? No, bro. Process spawn rate. Let me remove process spawn rate. So what the fuck is going on now? No, you don't have to burst all the time. You have to burst 1 time. Why is bursting all the time now? What is going on? It's bursting every second. I don't want you to burst every second. I want you to burst one time. Can you burst one time? You cannot. Everything here is 0. If I remove process burst list, it doesn't make any difference anyway. Oh my god. Spawn fraction 0. No, spawn fraction 0. It was working when I did the other example. Fuck. It was not flashing, right? It was not. I don't know why it's building up. It's like if it's building up. Okay, let's redo it from scratch. Let's redo it from scratch. So I removed this guy. We add a light. Our light, everything is constant, but it's not inverse square fall off. We said that we need a 0 right here and a 0 right here, and we even removed this. And then we have the bars list of one element, right? And the bar scale is 1. Now the loops are infinite. I don't understand why you need to have an emitter duration which is... Can I have an infinite time? 0 loop is impossible. You cannot have an infinite loop. Cannot have an infinite loop. Color over life. Why this thing is going like... I don't think I want a color over life, right? We said we want a constant color. And the constant color was this. Can I copy this? 07. Zero 7. I don't even know why I have a color over life actually. But anyway, let's assume for a second that I have it. Okay, so that's the color. Now everything else is okay. Now I'm spawning one element. Now why is this guy... because it was the alpha, it was the alpha. Okay, alpha 1. Okay, alpha 1. So size is uniform. Lifetime, yeah, the only problem is that now the lifetime is... okay, the lifetime is 0. Okay, so now it doesn't move anymore. Okay. Okay, so now he's alive forever, or do you think that in 10 seconds from now... Okay, now he's alive forever. I don't know what is the difference between this and this, but now at least he's alive forever. It is only one burst at the beginning. Now, if you miss the... One of the issue could be that if you miss the initial burst, you will not see the light. That's the problem. Use initial color instead of color over life. Yes, I can do that. I mean, I can copy this here. But You know what is the problem? The problem is that I think if I do it this way and you don't see the initial, yeah, that's why they did it that way. No, we cannot do it this way. I think it's a good idea, but it will never work because at the moment with this setting, you are going to burst one time and never again. So if another player comes in after the burst happened, I think he will not see the light. Understand? I think that's why they did it originally in the other way. We can try, but I think that unfortunately... No, because I was thinking, oh, maybe I can optimize it, you know, and I can avoid continuously spawning lights, but... I think it's not going to work. I think it's not. I need to do local, yes. I need to do local. And I need to do, wait, and I need to do this and this. We should have magic light also in, wait. Yeah, but that's probably the reason. Now that I think about it, it makes sense. Because I don't think that when you are in proximity of another player, the engine starts the particle. I think the engine take the, well, I don't know. If it takes the particle in the current state, or it just regenerates a new particle, that I have no idea. But we can test it. We can test it with 2 characters and... But let's say that now it's the maximum optimization possible, right? Because is right? Okay, I need to understand if I can cast magic light with this guy though. Hopefully yes. Yes, I can. So this guy sees it, obviously, because the initial burst is given to him by... is given to him by the... yeah, but when, I mean, when he casts the spell. But now, if I teleport this other guy to me... the question is, will this guy see the light? Actually it does. And also the sound restarted for the second client, because actually a completely new actor, I guess, is getting created. Yeah, so probably yes, because it's basically running through another creation. Now the question is, if this guy now goes far away in a place where that particle disappears, I mean, it should disappear for culling purposes, not for the problem is that it's not. That particle, by the way, is always visible. whatever whatever distance I am. Wow, that particle is visible anyway, even at 300 meters. Oh, it disappeared now. And it appeared again. I don't know why. But if I go 500 meters, wow, 500 meters I can still see it. Another 500 meters. Okay, now it disappeared because we are after 500 meters. So if I come back, well, cannot see the. Okay, it appeared now. Yeah, so even if you okay. So yeah, so it's working. I mean, it's really restarting the particle completely, so I think it's okay. Is completely restarting the particle, so to us it's good, huh? I think it's good. It's good. There are okay. So if I shut it off. Okay. And if I cast it again. Okay, fine. So it is working actually. Why the light is behind me? I have no idea. Because I didn't position the light. Okay, because this light is not positioned. But the light is not positioned. What do you mean? No, the light is positioned for sure. The light is. I know, because I have an initial position or something. I have an initial location. Yeah. I have an initial location, which actually I don't have in this one. So the initial location is this position here. We should be corresponding pretty much to the. Okay, fine. But I don't know. Is this location? Okay, now we need. Okay, now that we have it this way, which to me is okay. Now we need to understand if we can have a light, which is actually what we need, because at the moment the initial sides we do constant and we said 500. We said 500, but now obviously I think 500 is too little anyway. It should be more than 5 meters. I think the initial size should be. Did I see a blink? Oh my god, it's blinking again. Is it blinking again or what? I only added the initial location. No, it's not blinking. It was my brain, huh? Okay. My brain is blinking. Okay. So now the only problem is the intensity, because here we were working on the intensity with the color over life to multiply. Well, it was 0.1, 0.1, 0.1. Okay, this is 0.1. Actually, in the original we had 0.06. We had 0.06. Okay. 0.06, but the problem is that now it's basically infinite. You see that it blinked again? I don't know, I have the feeling it's blinking again and I'm getting crazy. Getting completely crazy, but fine. Maybe it's getting reset sometime. I don't know. Maybe when this emitter dies, this other one is getting reset. You see that it did something? But anyway, for us it's okay. I mean, if, you know... .06. Bro, is lighting up more. That is kind of infinite now. I mean, I removed the inverse square fall off, okay? Light exponent distribution. Light exponent distribution. Constant. Ah. So I need to do what? I need to do curve, and I need to say like 2 points, 0, 0 and 1, I don't know, 10 or 5 or 4 or 1 or 0.1. It's not changing anything. Fuck. No, because like this, it seems that it is just illuminating forever. I mean, this is like a permanent light. This seems to be a permanent light. I mean, an infinite, I mean, no, sorry, not permanent. I mean, it looks like it's an infinite light. So I don't understand. Provide the light exponent when inverse square fall off is disabled. Okay, but if I do 1, or if I do 0.1, or I do 0.01, you're not changing anything. So, what the fuck? Ah, the higher it is, okay. The higher it is, the more it falls off. Okay, I understand. The higher it is, the more it falls off. Okay, so... Okay, so if I go 20, this will definitely be bigger. But now I have the problem of the... I don't understand why it's still blinking now sometimes. It's annoying me so much. Color scale over... What, you see how much he light up? Why? Also, I don't understand. Yeah, it ticks. It somehow ticks, and is getting brighter. It's getting brighter anyway. Fuck. Even if I have a spawn of 0, it's getting brighter anyway. Emitter duration 0. Okay, I had an emitter duration of 10 seconds. Wait. Maybe there is a possibility. Okay, I think that now we'll probably not blink anymore. I don't know why I still had 10 seconds. Okay, the only problem of this light is that it's not very strong. I think I would like to have a slightly stronger light. The other thing that I see is that this light is not really making any shadow. Like my character is not making any shadow. While probably if I drop a normal point light, then he is, you see? Maybe because the light is not strong enough? Yeah, that's possible. That's possible. So let's try to boost the light. No, it's not making any shadows, but I'm fine. I mean, it's a magical light, so I think it's okay that it doesn't make any shadow anyway. I think it's reasonable. The only problem I have is that now is really too so I could make it slightly stronger, right? I don't know how much, but I could make it like this. And then I can boost this one, and this one will slowly but surely make it smaller. Exactly like that, you see? So it's kind of a different way, but we are deciding the exponent ourselves, right? If I put 0, it will become an infinite light. If I put 1000, we are kind of back to the... Okay, so the only question is, how big should this light be now? The other problem is... Okay. The other problem is, do you think that this light will go through walls? Because that's a problem, huh? If it does. Hello, Razzar Bazzar. Gaming plus developing. Well, at the moment I'm only developing. Maybe you are gaming. Do we have a magic light bug report? Torch light is uselessly low. This one we fixed it, so I think I can close it. Do we have a magic light bug that someone reported or not? No, huh? No, we didn't. We don't have. Okay, but anyway, I mean, if there was a bug, I could close it. Hello, developer. Yeah. Life of a developer, yes. I still think our skylight is too bright, but fine. I mean, okay. This is our current night. What the fuck? Why? It's making 0 light. What? Well, let me go in a place maybe that is darker. What the? What? was a message. Spawn emitter attached. Spawn potentially immortal particle system that may stay in the world. The spy never spawning particle after burst spawning is over. Yes, I know. But that's my problem. So the engine recognized that we have a potentially immortal particle system. we have a potentially immortal particle system, but okay, but why you don't place the light then? I don't understand. Why the light is not lighting anything now? Okay, I don't know. We are wasting too much time on this point. I think I have no idea why this light is not doing what it should do. Why we see it here and we don't see it in game. Maybe the fact that I made it infinite, you know, is bothering him. It's bothering the engine, and so it's disabling it. I think maybe it's been disabled by the engine for whatever reason. Okay. So what do? So we go back to the previous system? I have no idea. I don't know why here it seems to be fine. Actually. It's kind of strange. You see what happens, that this light is always staying in the same place even if I move the particle. What the hell is going on? Is this real or is this fantasy? You see the light? You see the light? That is always staying in the same place. What the hell? What? Do you think that the start location... Wait a second, because there was a keep relative to whatever. What was the thing? There was a spawn where you were saying that you wanted to override the position, no? Wait, I remember there was the one... there was a thing, emitter, screen alignment we don't really care. I don't know if it's the screen, no, but I don't think it's the screen. Use local space, yeah, look, use local space is this one. Is this one, use local space, you need that, otherwise if you make it part of yeah, use local space. Yes. Use local space. Okay, now you see it moves. Okay, now it moves. Okay, now it moves. Okay. Making progress. So now probably we will see it then. Probably now we will actually see it. So the problem was the local space. I think if it's not local space, all coordinates I like considered in world space, and so probably that 50, 120, whatever location that I gave him was probably bringing the light in a completely different place, you know, not related to the actor position. So yeah, think so. Think so. So I am positive that. Okay, I'm not positive. I'm not positive anymore. Okay, GG. It's just not working. The 000 of the level in theory is inside a temple somewhere. So we can go there and see if there is a light, but it seems that this thing is not working as expected. So like the initial burst is, I don't know why we have grass into this. I think the 000 is probably here. Ah no, sorry, it was in the old game. No, in the new game it's the same. It's the same noise. Why this thing is so bright? Okay, guys, this new system, this new method is not working. Basically, it's really not working. So, GG. Good reasoning, but bad results. So, we are simply going to reload our. We are simply going to reload our light, and we're just making it bigger. We will keep the spawning of the particles as likely as it was, and GG. Okay, because we spent enough time on this, and I will just revert it. And so we have the previous light. I know, but sometimes we need, you know, to put an end to our test. We already spent like, I don't know, 1 hour on this, and it's not worth it. Also, it doesn't seem that he likes really the infinite particles. It seems that he doesn't like it, so he's giving a big warning saying, you know, this particle is infinite, you should not do it. Why you are doing it? Okay, so this is our previous light. So we will use this previous light, and we will just make it more effective. So we'll keep the same spawn rate of 30 per second. And I think it was a good reasoning, but didn't work. At the end, didn't work. So you see that it's flickering. The reason that it's flickering is because it's creating every second 30 particles, right? And every particle is a light. That's the reason. If I reduce the number, it will be even more evident. So if I go to 5, you see, it will be like that. If I go to 50, it will be very stable but very bright. I think if you go to like 30 FPS, it looks like, for our eyes, I think it looks stable enough. Okay, so we said that this light is not strong enough, right? So we said that this light is too little. So I think I will leave everything else as it is. We are just going to change the inverse square fall off exponent, right? Because at the moment we have a 0.06, we have a light distribution of 1. Strange. Because the light is too weak. Well, because the light is too weak, huh? No, because anyway he has a side, so if I do 700... Yeah, exactly. If I do 700... How much we want to make it? I mean, how big we want this thing to be? I don't know if he's using the same initial color though, because initial color. So if I make it like red, does it stay red? Yeah, it does stay red. Or yellow. So yeah, so in reality, yes, the light is slightly blue, huh? I mean, it may not look like, but it is. Okay, so how much bigger this thing should be? So I moved it to 700. I think 800 would be a lot. I don't want the light to be super strong though. Can we lower it a bit? No, huh? So even if I lower it to 0.01, it's still okay. 0.01 is actually getting dim. 0.02, I think something like that. I think it should not be a strong light, even if it's a magic light. But okay, I think we will go 0.02. And we will go 700, which is... or 800, maybe. Or 800. Let's go 800. So it's 50% more than... Now, the only thing that is strange, because if the light is centered here... yeah, it should be... yeah, it's slightly in front of me, but not by much, right? Yeah, the center is here. Yeah, the center is here, which I think is okay. Okay, I think I will leave it like this. I think is enough. I think it's enough of a change. So let me see how it looks in game. Hopefully it's picked up, because if it's not picked up, we have a problem. Okay, sorry. Um, um, sorry, just a second. Huh? We need, I guess we need a dark place, otherwise our light will not be... Yes, like here. You see that that place was way darker. I mean, it's a bit hard to see if you are not in a dark place, but... I can make it brighter, but you see, yeah, you see? It is lighting up. I think it's good. It's flickering a bit, that's the only problem. That is actually flickering. But... And it's actually kind of annoying to see. This flickering is kind of annoying. Yeah, but you can light up stuff. So it is actually working now. There is one problem that the light seems to arrive after a bit of time. So it's like if the light is following you, right? I think it's okay. You see that it takes a bit before the light actually goes in place, but I think it's okay. You can make it stronger if you want. You can make it stronger, but I don't want to make it too strong that it starts to be annoying. This flickering, I don't know if you can see it, but this flickering, probably not, because it depends on the resolution, but yeah, I think you can see it. This flickering is super annoying though. Super annoying. It's like very annoying. But yes, you can light up stuff. Definitely you can. Which is nice. I know the only way to remove the flickering will be to have a slow flicker, meaning that we have okay, let's try again. Fuck. Let's try again. So, meaning that we have a burst of 1, okay? And that burst of 1 is leaving for example, 20 seconds or 30, yeah, or let's say 10 seconds. Okay, and And the lifetime is also 10 seconds. So each light is leaving. So everything is 10 seconds. Everything is 10 seconds. The important is that the lifetime is 10 seconds. Now, is the burst repeated or not? I have no idea. Because as soon as I place one here, it will do one every second, right? That's the problem. It does one every second. Hello, Sally Prosper. Hey. Thank you for the follow and welcome. I'm trying to figure out apply global scale. So if I do something like burst 20, right? And so we see now the only problem is that after 20 seconds I will have another burst, and those ones didn't die yet, and so this is why it seems that you have a double. I think you get that flash, you know, you get that flash because the lifetime, maybe we can have the lifetime. Let me try to have the lifetime as 9 and the particle as 10. Yes, exactly. So, okay. So if I have the lifetime as 9.9 or something like that, so it will just disappear for a tenth of a second. You see? Now it's not, but it's really disappearing, so it's not fading away. Now, what we can do maybe is to have it fade away. If we have the alpha as a constant curve, right? And we put 2 points, and we say that, or 3 points maybe, and we say that at 0 is 0, no, at 0 is 1, at 1 is, no, at 0.9 is, at 0.9 is 1, but at 1 it is 0, right? So in theory, now when he's reaching the end of his life, he should start to slowly disappear. Yes. Now Because the idea is not getting the flash, right? We are still getting the flash. If because they overlap. The problem is that they overlap. So if I keep the life at 10, it overlaps. But I think I need a color over time. Wait a second. I think I need a color over life though. I think the initial alpha makes no difference. I think the initial alpha should be 1. What the difference is here is the alpha over life my problem. Yes, exactly. The color is just 1 point, you know. There is 1 everywhere. This one I don't really care. What I care is the... What I care is the alpha over life. So yeah, I did it wrong. Yeah, so I need a 0.8 here at 1, and then I need a 1 0, so that actually it will disappear as soon as... Exactly. Okay, good. Now we understand what we want to do. Okay, sorry, it took me a bit of time, but at the end, I don't know why I cannot copy this. Super annoying.
Just do it!
Just do it! Just do it, boys. I mean, you can do it. I mean, it looks like you cannot, but at the end you can. I tell you, you can. So basically now, after 10 seconds, you see there will be a bit of a... Now, I don't think we want it that strong, right? So I think 0.9 is probably too much. So we can probably do 0.98 or something. We don't need it to go down that much. And also the value, I don't think it should be 0. I think that the value can be... I mean, to me, it should be a value that allows to avoid the flash, because the flash is very annoying. It should be something that avoids the flash. Huh. You can see the flash anyway. You can see the flash anyway because the new burst, you know, is it's kind of annoying, huh? It's bothering me a bit, but I think I will just leave it. I don't know, we're spending too much time on this. But what happens is that when you enter in the second cycle, well, maybe I can do a trick though. Wait, I can do a trick. What if we fade in? What if we fade in? Yeah. Let's try to fade in. Let's try to fade in 1 second, okay? So if I do 0 0 0 1 1 0 9 1 no 0 9 0 9 no 0 9 1 and 0. No, but like this is a problem because this will no. And 1 0 9. So if I do it like this, I think it will. Let's wait one cycle. Yeah, he's slowly growing. He's slowly growing. I mean, which is not too bad. At least we don't get the flash. It's not too bad. I don't know what happens if I start with 0 1. What happens if I start with 0 1? Is it even possible? Yeah, we get the flash. Yeah, if I start with 0 1, we get the flash because we have the duplication. So yeah, we get the flash. As soon as I go too low in this value, we get the flash of the second cycle. And because basically the light is summing up with the previous one that didn't die yet. But we can also have, you know, more of a... 0 1. Let me try something different. Let me try something like that. So it's really starting dim. It's going up. He's trying to lower himself a bit and then he restarts. So it's like pulsating, right? So we could do it. I don't know if it's annoying to see, but this way it will not flicker much, hopefully. Because this way, this is a burst of permanent, right? So we are not spawning lights every second. We are just spawning 20 at the beginning. The only problem of this setting, I think, is that the light is not enough. So probably I need to spawn like 30 or so instead of 20. And I don't know if I want 091 108. Let me try this. I'm trying to create I try to smooth out the transition between start and end. Yeah, something like that, exactly. I'm trying to smooth out the transition between start and end as much as I can. Right? Which I think is okay. I think it's good, I like it. So it's a bit of a slow pulsating thingy, you know, that I think I like it. Okay, now the only problem is if he makes enough light, because it seems that we are back to a small radius. So I can try to increase the overall light. So I'm not gonna change the I'm not gonna change this anymore, right? So this will stay as this. I don't want to touch it, but I think I can change this one, right? And I can say, for example, 0.4, and it is definitely stronger. It's okay, it does that small, you know, up and down. I think it's okay. It makes it a bit alive. It makes it feel a bit alive, so I think it's okay. That does the small flickering every... Now, at the moment it's doing it every 10 seconds. If we want, we can have the small flickering happening every 20 seconds or every 5 seconds, right? But I think every 5 seconds probably start to be annoying. Yes, because I have to match the emitter, yeah, I have to match this time with the other time. So if that's 5, this should be 5, otherwise they don't match. Exactly. So that is going up and down every 5 seconds. But I don't know, I feel maybe it's too annoying. I think every 5 seconds is too annoying. I think I would probably even do it every 15 seconds, right? Now it seems that the longer the time, the stronger is the flash, but the reason is that all the timing are relative to the duration. I think 15 seconds is okay. I think 15 seconds is fine. What bug you're working on? I'm trying to fix the magic light. It's not. I think many people reported that the magic light is not strong enough, right? And so is not useful. So I'm trying to find a good compromise between sides, flickering, performances, and everything else. I know it seems to be a small thing, but I think a lot of people will use Magic Light anyway as a spell, so... I think anyway it makes sense to have it. Yeah, the only problem is that I don't know why some of this... What the... Yeah, the only problem is that the light takes so much time to reach you. What the fuck? Yeah, the burst is not moving with you. Okay, GG. The burst is not moving with you. Fuck. So even if you say use local space. Ah no, there was no use local space. Ah okay. There was no okay. There was no use local space. That's why. That's why. There was no use local space. So the light was the initial burst was staying where it was generated, right? And so the effect was unusable. But I think that now it should move with us, right? Which is the whole point. Okay, now it moves with us. Okay. I was scared for a second. Now, is this enough light? Like, if you are here, you cannot really see there, right? But if you go like this, you can see it. So at the moment it's like, I don't know, 10 meters or so. 8 meters. I think it's okay. I think it's already better than before. I don't want to make it like super big, because super big... In theory it would be nice if the radius is actually changing based on the power, right? At the moment I think it's not. I think at the moment... Am I lighting up on the other side? Yes. Yeah, if you are in front of a wall like this, your magic light is actually on the other side, and so you see that I mean it's a bit of a weird effect, but I don't think I can fix that anyway. I think it's okay. I think I will leave it like this. Let me see if we go into a cave or something. If we go into a cave, I need a cave without a lot of lights, though. I need a cave without lights. Yeah, I had the lights everywhere, but I think here it should be empty. Here it should be. Ah, I don't have the map. Fuck. I don't have the map. Okay. Let me try to go then below the city. Below the city. I don't have no, I don't have a teleport location below the city. Okay, I guess we will just fall down and see what happens. Well, nearly. Nearly did it. Fuck. I'm trying to find a place that I can go into the sewers, but well, let me disable gravity maybe. Set me gravity off. Slow me down 5. Okay, so now we can kind of walk, you know. Okay, now we can say set me gravity on. Okay, here we are in the cave. Yeah, I think it's good. I think it's good. It's too short. Is it still too short? I can boost it. I can boost it a bit more if you want. Is it still too short? Look at this. Look at this gate. Look at this gate. When you are here, you don't see it, right? Now you cannot barely see it. And now you see it. So you have to be at this distance to actually see it. I can boost it. I can do 800 instead of 700. It's 800 already. Let's do 900, okay? Let's boost it just a bit more. Okay, fine. I think this one is done. I don't want to spend more time on this. I think we fixed it. It's better than before. It's also more optimized because it's not spawning, you know, 30 new particles every second. You see that the light is green now and it's not red because the level of, you know, the amount of spawning is very, very low. So I have enabled shader complexity, which is basically telling us how costly is the light for the engine, right? And if you look at this one, for example, which obviously needs to flicker continuously because it's a, you see that this one is constantly red, right? So this one is bad, is in the bad range. So this one is going to cost quite a bit and slow down your client quite a bit. The reason is that there are many particles that are getting generated, you know, continuously to get that kind of flickering effect. And so depending on your PC or whatever, you will be good or bad. Okay, so we fixed magic light. I don't know, it was a lot of work, but I think he also refreshed me a bit on the particle thingies and everything. So yes. Okay, so what do we want to fix next? What do we want to fix next? I don't know. Is there any guys? Are there any other bugs that you think are? That are needed before the next release, before the next update? Do you have anything in this list that you think is important? That is not unreal. Are there any other bugs that you think that are not already fixed pending release? Okay, because if they are already fixed pending release, then all of this, there are many that are already fixed. Without a way. Yes, there is something else that I really want to test. What I want to test is if in the locations, because you know what is the problem, is that in some of the areas, so let me do this. I know exactly what I want to do. When you are fighting in the wilderness, there are certain areas that are actually missing the navigation mesh, I think. And the result is that you cannot really fight, right? And the creatures cannot move. Okay, I got all my maps. Got all my maps back. Because there are a lot of maps that actually don't have build data files. And those maps without build data files, I think they have no nav mesh. Now, I'm not 100% sure, but I think so. This is my understanding. The problem is that build data files on some maps are incredibly big, and my idea was to ensure that at least in the core areas, which is basically all this part, right, we get Draken Planer. Okay. Iliacum 0606. Why we have Iliacum 0606? Wait a second. Iliacum 0606. Iliacum 0606. There is a reason for sure, but just I don't remember. Plane shift, settings, background, level 1. Level 1 all sectors. Okay. Why we have this one in the middle, which is 0606? That's a good question. 0606. Let me load it 1 second and let's see what it contains. 0606. It doesn't seem to contain much. 0606. What the hell? Is it an empty level or what? Because in theory it's this one, landscape streaming proxy, right? But landscape streaming proxy seems to be completely empty. I'm wondering if I just decided to delete it all or what. Yeah, I think it's all invisible. Wait a second. Yeah, it's all invisible. So it's a completely invisible level, so it's totally useless to us. I'm just trying to understand if there is something that we need. What are those two small things here? No, these are the post processor. Yeah, you see that if I remove visibility, I actually see the level, right? but this one is completely useless at the moment. It's been completely deleted. So 0606 we are gonna delete. It's not used for anything. Nice. So we can remove another level. Because originally we had all levels in, right? Like in this border, but now all the ones where you see an X, a red X, are the ones that I actually deleted. Because it's just making the client bigger, you know, for nothing. And these are levels that you are never gonna use anyway. So 0606 is gone. This one is Drake and Plane, which is completely separate, and obviously Drake and Plane we are keeping. Right? But yes, this 0606 we can delete. Is useless. So we go here. Zero 0606. Deleted empty level, empty map. Okay, so that one can go. Now let me see if we have other. This one is actually guild temp, so this one is needed because these are our guilds, and so this one we keep it. This one I have no idea, but it's something useful. For sure. I think this one is probably the podium map. It's probably the podium map, this one. Yes. So, okay. Now, all the others here are all needed because they are all at the border, right? But, okay, this is not what I wanted to say. What I wanted to say is that here in the middle, we have a lot of maps that actually are useful, but they are not... all in this block, right? All this block. These are all maps that, well, apart west of Isla, I mean, definitely that's a good one. But for example, 0604 or 0603, like these two maps, right? These are real maps with content somehow. And I guess that these maps do not have the navigation mesh. Let me see. 030. No, this one have actually. Okay, nice. Well, that's good. That's good. So if I go, where are those maps here? If I go to this map and I check the navigation mesh here, right? I don't get it. Why I don't get it? You see, it's like if these maps do not have a navigation mesh. It also says here nav mesh needs to be rebuilt, but the question is why? Because actually Let me try to open the map separately. Yeah, it's saying the same. It is saying exactly the same. So like if this map for some reason does not have the nav mesh loaded. Yeah, in fact if I press P they should show the nav mesh. Is not there. Now the problem is why, right? Why the nav mesh of this one is not there? I can't build navigation path only without a building lights. But still I cannot see it, and still it says nav mesh needs to be rebuilt. Is there something not working on this thing? There is procedural foliage, no. Ah, but wait a second, because this one, okay, because the nav mesh thingy is not inside the map, but is at the persistent level. Okay. Yeah, but still I don't understand why it's not showing up. So there is a problem, boys. There is a problem. 0603. Okay, now I have my map loaded, right? And I should have a navigation mesh for this guy, which is actually this box here. You see nav mesh bound GOG multi-map. This monster here. Okay. Now if I say build, wait, maybe. So if I press P, nothing happens, right? Nothing happens. 70, 79, 17, 89. Something to do with a GUI. You get a scroll bar only at a certain sides. Okay, I can look at that. So if I build only the path, on this one, right? And now you see that we see the path. So now we see the path actually. Now we see the path. So I don't know if they get invalidated maybe when you change the, I mean if you paint anything. Let me try. Maybe that's how we learn something. Maybe when I go landscape and I just, you know, and I just flattening it a bit, so I just change something and I go back to select and I say show me the path. No, actually it is there. It says that it needs to be rebuilt, but actually it is there. So I don't know why it was completely invisible. I don't know. Because basically what happens is that if you have a monster that is in one of the areas without the navigation path, then the monster is failing to fight or to move, right? And that's a big issue. That's a very big issue. Because it means that the monster cannot really go around and do anything. So, apart that these maps need to be terraformed completely, but you see that this one on the side has no navigation, has zero navigation. So basically in this map, the monster will not move. So I want to be sure that at least all the core maps have... Now, it would be interesting to see how much the build data file is getting increased in size based on the navigation, right? So how big it is to build navigation on such a map. Meanwhile, while it's building, let me see the 79. What the hell? 79. Locket chest deleted when consumed. Yes, that is by design. No, I mean... on the lock. Okay. Did you try it recently? Did you try it recently? Because I did a fix some time ago on this, huh? Exactly on this. Can you try it again? Can you try it again and confirm if it's still there? Because okay, now we have the path. Okay, if I save all, what happens? I don't think I need to save the main map, right? Do I need to save the main map? I don't think so. I don't want to save the main map. I want to save the 2 sub maps. Okay, the size is not too big. So the size is fine. Now let me reload this because I want to see if the reference to the navigation map is actually saved or not. Oh fuck, really? No, but I hope that this is not going to be a problem for real. You see what I did? I didn't save the persistent level, and I wanted to see if the navigation was then saved into the sub level. I think it was, but then when I reopened the persistent level, the navigation is not here again. Which makes okay, so we need to understand this thing, boys. We need to understand it, because if every time that we are rebuilding a single sub map we are breaking the others, I mean, that's an issue, right? So now I save all, and I will save also the main map, right? I will do that. And we did it on 0306, sorry, 0603, right? So 0603 got updated, and also our main map got updated. This one, right? Hopefully it's just a pointer too, but we will see. So now I do it again. I reopen my persistent map, and now I open 0604, which is another map, which is missing navigation, right? Navigation is not here. Okay. Okay, GG. We see the navigation of the other map. This is super bad. This is super bad, because what happens now if I say build navigation? Is that I will destroy that one. Nah, this is not usable, huh? There must be another way. the reason is that the nav mesh is actually in the persistent level. Now I could move it. You see what happened? You see what happened? That I basically destroyed the other map navigation, and now I have it on this one, right? And now I have it on this one. So this is super stupid. I don't know why sometimes Unreal with open worlds is like it's like doing weird stuff. But anyway, maybe it's my mistake. Let's see. So so word composition and nav mesh, right? So how we are supposed to do it? How we are supposed to do it? Exactly, because the point is that would be important to put the navigation meshes inside the volume of the single levels and not in the persistent, right? Check this video. Hello, Oscar.
You can see the navigation generated area, but compared to the whole world, this is just a tiny portion of this world, and I can make this nav mesh volume a larger that will cover the whole world, but then it will involve a lot of calculations. That is I don't think I can afford to do that in limited resources of a PC. So therefore I'm going to show you a way to make the whole world navigable without making these unbearable calculations. So yeah, this is how I am going to do it. First I will go to my project settings like this, and here under navigation it should be here. So here we have this option, generate navigation only around navigation invokers. So I'll enable it. So then what this does is, whenever I have a navigation invoker component in my characters, they will generate nav mesh. They will do the calculation and generate nav mesh areas only around that character. So yeah, so first I'll now,
What the fuck?
if I'll delete this nav mesh. No, I don't have to delete it. So this is my nav mesh, and
For us, it's not possible
for now,
because
even if I press P,
how do you then say to your character, like, go from this point to that point? You know, how can he calculate a path that is going from A to B? Hello, Oscar. Yeah, sure, you can ask a question.
it does not have any, it does not show any green areas, which is calculated by for navigation. So that's because I do not have any nav mesh invokers added to these characters. So first I'll make this cube or nav mesh cover the whole world by making it larger. Okay, I did it larger, though it over or fairly little larger was of this. Right. The side view increase and yeah.
So he created one
now
nav
what I
mesh
have
for
to
the
do
whole
is,
world, okay?
so
Which,
here's
okay.
our characters. There. Okay. So now what I have to do is I have to add a nav mesh component, a navigation invoker component into my character blueprint. So here, well actually I could add a navigation invoker like this, but our player character also inherited from that same CH human class. So
You know how to export several objects from U4 with coordinates. What is the output that you are
but the
seeking?
player character don't need
Is like a CSV
navigation
file,
invoker.
or do you want to export also the
Therefore,
geometry like in FBX? Or
I'll create another
what is
child
the output that
blueprint
you want?
from this CH human, and I'll call it CH under the pawn. I'll remove.
I don't know what this guy's doing now. He's doing something completely different, but okay.
To this one.
Navigation invoker. Okay, so he's basically adding to each character
I'll leave the default settings as
a navigation invoker inside a
as
character.
Okay, I'll
And then there is a radius, like in this case is 3000, so it's 300 meters. So it's generating
leave the default settings
in 300
as
meters range.
And so these guys don't have a navigation invoker or a AI component enabled, so okay, so now as you can see, when I put that character in the world, it generated the nav mesh around that, and so I'll add some faraway place another character as well. Actually I haven't put any.
Yeah, the problem is that, bro, if
If
you say go from navigation A to navigation B, then how can the character do it if it doesn't have a navigation between the 2 points, right?
They are also, both of those places are navigable because I have made the whole world navigable. Right, now let's play this so that, and I'll go to debug camera to see whether the other characters are moving around. Is there? This whole world is navigable, and let's check the other character as well.
I mean, if they just randomize positions,
so this guy can also walk around.
I think it's fine, but
right, so that's how we make the whole world navigable.
nah, this solution is not good for us, unfortunately, because I understand what it's saying, but yeah, exactly, the pathfinding. Okay, he has another video on pathfinding.
Hello everyone, navigation area. This is the generated navigation area for this character, and if any point within this green area can be reachable by this NPC character, but if the target location is outside that area,
Exactly,
this character will have problems reaching that location,
exactly,
this place. So that's what I am going to show you today how to overcome that problem.
Nice.
Alright, so first to character does is, as we did in our previous episode, it selects a character, his the NPC character reached the desired location, it should get another point to follow. So
You didn't answer, Oscar. What is the output format you want?
and yeah, now this character can reach our location like this. Last time it didn't work because I was above ground and the character can't reach a place above the ground. So when I spawn still, because he can't find a path to our location, player's location. So let's try this again when I'm in green area. Alright, so to fix that problem, I'm going to do something like this. I already know these characters according to the settings of this navigation invoker. The generation radius is 3000 units, and so the maximum distance between the current location of this NPC character and the target location can be 3000 units. So keeping that in mind, I'm gonna do something like this. Before giving the command to go to this AI move to location, I'm gonna check the distance between this point.
So it's changing it on the fly based on the maximum distance?
Target like this. If this one is less than, this distance is lesser.
Okay, if it's greater, then what?
Direction vector.
This guy is explaining well, but it's super slow.
Multiply with this a scalar, something like 1500.
Holy shit!
And I'm gonna add this one.
1500. Okay, so like the world map.
So this the distance between get random reachable point in radius node and put this new location as the origin and give the radius like this and return this one. Right, so by this way I can always get some location that can be reachable by the NPC character, but this is not complete yet, so let's see what happens. I think
So it's going in steps. So basically he's searching the point that is the point that is in the right direction but is not yet reaching. So he will probably reach like this corner here, and then when he's in this corner he's doing it again, right, to find out the that's kind of an idea. But the big issue is that if there is a predefined path like a road or something, you may end up in an impossible position all the time. So I don't think this thing is working in a real scenario.
yeah, if the character have to do the same reuse, so this right should be originally given target location here.
So he's making him move step by step, towards the location. I mean, it's a good idea.
Same method again. That means this one, so that it will get a new location using this fun. It is
Yes.
true. Well, I don't have to do anything. No, it's not above the ground. There, and the column is update interval to instead of updating of navigation data, I'll proceed. Other than this, right?
It is a
So
freaking mess
yeah.
anyway. It is a freaking mess, boys. We need to understand how to do this. I mean, the solution of this guy is kind of smart. Like, what it's saying is... But, I mean, I don't think it's working. I don't think it's working in a real scenario. So, what this guy is saying is that, okay, you have a very big map, fine. You cannot generate the navigation map for everything, so you don't generate it. You just put the navigation invoker on top of your character. And this means that you are going to recalculate the so let's assume that this is your character, right? You're going to recalculate the navigation map around them in a certain range, for example 300 meters. So you will have the navigation map all around it, right? And then he's saying, oh, by the way, but if you want to reach a point like this one that is outside of the map, that is outside of, sorry, of his navigation map, then what to do? Then just, you know, have a cycle that is choosing a point, you know, we choose a point, for example, here, and then when you reach that point, which is the limit, you will choose another point, right? Because when he reaches this place, then his navigation map will be different, right? Will be, I don't know, like this, right? So because he is always at the center, and so at this point you choose another, and then you choose another, and then you choose another, and you go on forever like that. And okay, I understand the idea, but the problem is that if you have, you know, if you have a specific navigation that you need to follow, because for example there is, I don't know, there is a road, you know, that goes around the mountain or something, right? Is not making it by pieces that it will actually work, because if there is a road like that, there is a mountain in between, your direction will be this, but your direction, so you will generate a new map, but you will never reach, you know, you will never reach the right point. You will never reach it, because for example, let's assume that your character is here, right? Is here at the beginning of the road. Unfortunately, the road goes to the right, right? But your target location is to the north, like here, right? So because the road does like this, right? So with this idea that he had, you will generate your map, your navigation map like this, right? And so the closest point to the red will be here. So your character will actually go here, right? And after he's here, he will be stuck because there is a mountain in between and you cannot actually go straight. So I don't know, I think that this idea works, you know, what he demonstrated in the video works in a completely flat area like this with no blockers, no obstacle, no anything, but is, I mean, yeah, exactly. Look at this question. It says, thanks, but if I have a question. If there is a cliff or big wall in front of the AI, would be the best algorithm way? Random turn left? Yeah, exactly. So, no, that is not reasonable. There is not a really good solution. I think it's a better approach. I mean, it works in a completely flat area, but okay. So the problem we have, boys, is a pretty big problem, because what it seems is that whenever we are generating the navigation map from the persistent level, the navigation is stored. Is stored in a persistent level. So I think I have no other solution than loading the world map and generating a huge single huge navigation map. I have no other solution. I mean, that's how it should work. That's how it should work. And by the way, as you can see, our navigation map is let me just see if now with the new setup maybe I can reduce it, right? But you know that I'm not really sure that I can. Let me just load some random maps. So this is the last in the desert. So it's 1204, 1205. Okay, so this is the last in the desert. Then if I go 1201, okay, we are there. And here is where we have the okay, the start of the wall, right? Now here we have kind of a fictional natural barrier, right? So because players cannot go above this, cannot go beyond that. So okay, I think I'm fine with this. Now if I do 0601, right? Okay, this is cutting off all of this. And if I do 0302, and if I do 0004, okay, so this is basically the maximum extent. It is kind of the maximum extent. So I think the only way, I think this is the only way, boys. I think it is the only way. The only problem would be if 0005. Yeah, this is not even needed this way. 0105. My Unity game had a similar system that would only generate enough mesh based on the current tile the character was on, and I ran on the same mountain question. The fix is only mountain bigger than tile. Yeah, exactly. I mean, if you have a blocker, I mean, if you have any blocking or wall that is not bigger than your nav mesh generation, then I think you're fine. By the way, why we have this snow getting generated here? I have no idea. I think it's our weather system that somehow is doing this. No, but the point is, if I want all my characters to be able to move in all the terrain, right? The only way is to actually load all the maps together and then ensure that you have your nav mesh, you know, properly set. Which by the way, in certain cases it may even be wrong like this, but I mean, in this case is okay, but and save only the nav mesh, right? But we need one nav mesh. There is no way. We need one nav mesh for the whole map. I can try to launch it now. I just don't know how much it's gonna calculate. And then after he calculated that monster nav mesh, I guess he would go into this map, right? There is Iliacum U map, which is the persistent level for us. He will get the new total nav mesh. I think it's very annoying that is not a separate file. I don't understand why they generated this huge build data and they are not splitting build data based on lights, nav meshes, you know, and grass and whatever, foliage. I don't understand why there is only one file, because that's very hard to maintain. And by the way, I don't even know if it would be in the build data or will actually be inside the map. Probably would be inside the map. But yes, basically I need to load all the maps together. I mean, we can do it. I can maybe avoid just loading the very big ones. Like, if I load everything except the big ones. Because you know what is the problem? That you cannot even do it in pieces. You cannot do it in pieces, and that is what we just proven, right? So we loaded one map, we generated navigation, then we loaded another map, we generated navigation, and we have overridden the previous calculation. So, which is completely stupid. Which is completely stupid. Now, our world is kind of big, but it's not super big. So I don't understand what, you know, how do other people do with real large world? I mean, our world is big, but it could be much worse than this. Much worse. So, by the way, this navigation mesh makes no sense because it's not really scaled, you know, properly. So I think we can actually change it. Oops. That's not what I wanted to do. So, excluding, yeah. I mean, probably it's not even worth it to do it this way. I think we could even split it completely into 1, 2, and 3 boxes so that it's more precise and we waste less. Yeah, I think we should. I think this will be multi-map. This I think I will rename it, and I will call it Amdeneir and Lake plus Lake. So Amdeneir plus Lake. I think we take all this block. And so I can easily position it like this and make it way smaller, right? And we take only this block, and then we have another square here, and is definitely more efficient than what it is now. I think they can overlap. I think it's no problem if they overlap a bit. We don't have any, at the moment we don't have any. Yeah, the issue is I think is the height, because here the wall goes up a lot, and even if in that region we don't need it, but I think it's okay. I think like this is okay. We can actually make it even a bit smaller than that. I mean, it's not super important, but important point is that there is an overlap, because otherwise if a piece is missing, the NPC will not move. Okay, so like this, I feel we are in kind of good shape. I mean, this is wasted, this triangle is wasted, but I think it's fine. Maybe we add a new map or something. Now for this area, by the way, what the fuck happened here? Why these two are not like matching? What the hell? Because this one has never been touched, so probably has zero. He has zero height map. Yeah, that's possible. Probably this one has absolutely no height map of any kind, so because this area has never been terraformed, and so it's generating this like problem. And also I see that there is a bit of a missing. What the? Okay. Now, I don't want it that way, but just to say that. Ooh. Yeah, probably because that map has never been terraformed in his life, and so this is the result. It is an area that we never worked on. Also, this part we never worked on it. Yeah, there are some seams here and there. Don't know exactly why, but there are. These are all the connection with the maps. Well, there we are missing a map, but U5 fixed this issue. All the assets are now split into individual files. Oh, really? That's very nice. Hopefully the UNAV mesh is efficient enough to fit the entire world nav mesh in less than 8 GB of RAM. In Unity is not. I have no idea. Well, 8 GB, I would say yes. I mean, this is just, well, I don't know. Our tile is not too big, so, but we can see. I don't know. So U5 as the file separate, huh? That's a great idea. It is exactly what is needed, actually. Because otherwise, when I'm checking into Subversion, you know, stuff, I'm checking in so much for every time I change something, and it's really unreasonable. It's really unreasonable. Okay, so we duplicate this one. I select persistent. So we duplicate this one and we just apply the nav mesh to this piece, right? Centering it, hopefully. And that's it. Now that is okay, but we also have other issues because we have maps that are actually not here. So we have the lava cave, for example. Well, but the lava cave, I think, is... Yeah, we have the caves map. But the caves map as the... What the fuck? So this one is actually... The nav mesh is actually inside the map, but when we load the whole world we see it, so it's probably getting calculated anyway, yeah? Okay, that's nice. So I think we can leave it this way, because we have the same problem in like in the Death Realm and other places. Death Realm is there. I don't know if he has his own navigation map, but probably does. No, he has a light mass importance volume. He doesn't have a navigation map. No, it does not have. Now, at the moment we don't have NPC that are actually moving in this level, so actually it's kind of useless. I think it's kind of useless, but I think we need it anyway. I think we need it. I think I will add one. I think I will add a navigation mesh to this thing. I think we will. Because we have the problem that some monsters are not moving, right? And that's an issue. Wait, let me just hide 1 second this. Okay. So this will be called nav mesh and then Death Realm. Okay. And this one I think is okay if it sits in the single level, but anyway will be... okay, now in terms of extent, I think we need less than that? Okay. Probably less than that. Oh my god, it seems so big, but it's not. Okay. So I don't think we need to walk everywhere, right? So we need to walk, but you know, since we are here, why not? The important point is that is matching the core of the level, which is actually here. Right? And then I think we are good. And vertically, I think vertically is probably even too much, but yeah, probably is too much. But we take that, we take this. We don't need to walk on top of the We don't need to walk on top of the... I mean, monsters don't need to walk on top of the citadel, so... I think that is more than okay. Okay, something like that I think is fine. So we have our nav mesh also for the Death Realm. Now the problem is what other locations? So for example the lava cave. Is the lava cave inside one file per actor? Very nice addition. One file per actor. No, what I mean is not one file per actor, one file per type. So like if you have the navigation, if you have the nav mesh, right? Is the nav mesh saved in its own file or not? That's what I'm asking. Okay, the lava cave seems to be inside this one, so it should be okay. Lava cave is inside of this big one, so Google multi-map, so I think it's perfectly fine. Now the guild, I have no idea, but in guilds at the moment we don't have anything moving, and in Draken Plain also we don't have anything moving, so I think it's okay. I think it's fine. And in Podium also we don't have anything moving. So Podium should also be fine. Caves. So this one is caves, huh? This one is caves. Caves have their own thing. So I think that with caves we are good. Okay. Okay, so now if I want to say let's recalculate everything, what I need to do? What I need to do? So I have to load all the maps, huh? That is a mess, huh? Like we changed all these maps. GG. Just because I touched, you know, a few. Yes, you need to check it out. I don't know what to say. So we're gonna load all the maps, boys. Are you ready? We are loading all the maps. 1.5 million maps. I mean, they are not 1.5 million, but they are anyway. I don't know. I deleted a lot. I deleted a lot of the maps that we were not using, so I definitely made it more reasonable, right? Anyway, we will do a test. We will do a test for U5 soon. I don't know when, but I will. I will try to move everything to U5 one day. I don't know when, but...
You expect me to believe that?
Yes,
nah,
I will.
I don't think so.
Yes, I will. Hello, Hula. It's some time I don't see you, huh? Okay, we have all the maps loaded. We have all the maps loaded. Holy shit. Now I will click on build path, okay? And if you don't hear from me anymore, it means that my computer exploded. Okay, and I exploded with it. So we're gonna click this, okay? And we see what happens. Boom. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. I hear my PC. I hear the fan of my PC going like, you know? But anyway, I would say we have enough space, okay? So we have enough space to keep the world like this for quite some time. So if the calculation works, I don't need to expand the world more than what we have. Because consider that at the moment, if we look at the, if you can still hear me, I hope so. At the moment, you know, our world, let's say that the most important part of our world is here, okay, where I have drawn the green perimeter, right? So that's the most important part of our world, plus few things like the Death Realm, the Draken Plain, the guilds, the caves, the podium, but these are like spot places, you know, on the map. So we still have a lot of new places, like all of this area, right? And all of this area that we can populate more. Plus we have all the underground, right? So we can create maps underground easily. So, and I think there is enough. I mean, in terms of, consider that every map, every one of these tiles is 1.27 kilometers by 1.27 kilometers, right? So to go from like here to here, which are all valid maps, you have like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 12. Yeah, the number is 12. So you have 12, right? 12 kilometers plus 6. No, plus what? Anyway, 1.2 multiplied by 12. So, I don't know, 14 kilometers. So 14 kilometers, right? And 14 kilometers by feet is a lot. So I think it's enough extension. Now from here to here we don't have the same thing, right? So we have more than 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we have like 7 kilometers. But anyway, and these parts we are not using. So actually, but so it's not really, you know, a 14 by 7, but I think there is enough space. Plus there are all the, you know, dungeons below ground, so I think it's enough space. Now in theory, our world, if you look at our real world, right? Our real world would be this, right? Our real walkable map would be this, as designed by settings, right? But in our lore, right? It would be something like that. So all these parts should be, but the problem is that here we are hitting an Unreal Engine limitation, right? So if we go after this limits, Unreal Engine cannot do it. At least I don't know. I cannot do it in Unreal Engine 4, maybe in Unreal Engine 5, but so yeah. So at the moment is where we are. How much time do you think it would take? And by the way, he's throwing an error. The nav mesh bound too large. Limit requested tiles count 9,207 blah 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 to 1,000 blah blah blah. So it seems that we requested 9 million tiles and he didn't like it. So he said, well, you asked 9 million tiles. I'm going to give you 1 million. Para-pa-param. Need liquid cooling, yes. What do you mean? You know the PS tab should have pushed player to do it for a stupid beer asked by an NPC. What do you mean? That we ask you to go to the other side of the world just for a beer? That's possible. Now, how do we know if he's doing something? Well, we know that he's doing something because he's actually taking 18 gigabyte of memory. Is actually at 18 gigabyte of memory, and the CPU seems to be very busy. Now the question is, if I asked for 9 million tiles, but it gave me only 1 million tiles, so where is going to remove the tiles that, you know, so it means that certain areas will not be navigatable anyway, or what? Uh-oh, I heard a strange sound. I heard a strange sound from my PC. No, it's okay, it's okay, it's okay. It's not smoking. At the moment, it's not smoking. Not yet. Is not yet smoking, boys. But we are at 31.4 gigabytes out of 31.9. Holy shit. What if I close the browser, maybe? What can I close? I cannot close Steam because my face is on Steam. I mean, I can close Visual Studio, maybe. That's a good idea. And I can close GIMP and I can close the database. The problem I think you will be building all at once workflow is that when people change the map, like putting else, we don't know how to rebuild the entire map. I think you need to build on the mesh. Yeah, exactly, that's the problem. But that seems to be the only way it works at the moment, so that you have to rebuild the world map. I know, it's annoying, but it is what it is. I don't think that having, you know, separate I mean, having these navigation invokers is really a good idea. I think navigation invoker may be good if you are, I mean, for very specific cases, like you are on a flat map and you want to, and you want just the NPC to move around. To move around a bit, you know, but not to move around a lot. So I think it's a good concept, but it's not good for us. So what we have seen is that if we build the navigation mesh only on the map where the player is, unfortunately, we are going to delete all the other navigations. CPU is going down a lot, I don't know why. The CPU is going down. The memory is at 29 gigabytes. Unreal Engine is using 20 gigabytes of RAM. Easy. Should I buy more RAM and go to 64? I don't know. Usually with 32, I always been okay. I mean, I rarely or never probably. I think I never go above 32 gigabytes. But I'm fairly close sometimes, like now. We were at 31, you know. So, yep. All the CPU are 0 now. It finished! Wow, it finished, really? It was fairly fast. Okay. Now... now I would like to press P. Uh-oh. 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 I pressed P. I did it. Okay. Well, I have to say that is actually... I mean, we actually have a navigation map everywhere, except... I think it cut off some... Uh-oh. I think it cut off... Why it cut off that part? We didn't have a navigation here. Do you think it reduced the tiles? I mean, it reduced the tile resolution? I think this part I forgot to put it into the... I think I forgot to put it into the nav mesh. But actually we have it, eh? We have it, boys. It's fully mapped. Yeah, I think it works. Now we can try to save and see what happens. Now we're gonna save. Is asking us to update these two maps. I have no idea why, but okay. Let's do it. And now we see how big this will become. So from 24 megabytes, oh my god, to 840 megabytes. Okay, so it became 840 megabytes, the main map. So basically, the whole navigation path is 820 megabytes. I mean, which is not insane. I mean, it's is reasonable, right? But you see the problem now? The problem now is that if I have a file of 800 megabytes, right, that I need to check in into our freaking source control, and then we need to do a small change, you know, I will have to check in again another 800 megabytes, right? Which is completely stupid. So I think probably then we are not gonna do this. So probably our sequence of steps will be a different sequence, right? So probably we are going to, we need a, I think we need a release map, you know? We need a release sequence, you know, and a release sequence I think is something like only when I build a release, right? Only when I build a release, I do the generation of nav mesh for the whole world, right? But actually we don't save it in our subversion, which I think is the best idea. So basically everyone works without the generated nav mesh, and if they want to generate it on one map, they can do it just to test. But basically the generated nav mesh is never, you know, checked in into subversion. Is only when we release that. Before release I do this, right? And I do it only once for every release. And then I don't save this file anyway. Ah, fuck. The problem is that I need to save it because I need to check it in because I need the Linux and the Mac machines to pick it up from somewhere. Yeah, it is exactly why that file should be separate, but the nav mesh should be separate. Do you want me to launch the server and see how much it loads? I don't think it will be too much anyway. So if I launch the server now consider we have all the maps loaded, okay? I think the server was taking about 5 gigabytes before. I think the full server was about 5 gigabytes. Hey, probably now it will be 6, but I think it's fine. It's only running on the server. But I don't know. Oh, I think the client has it because you can actually visualize it. So I think the client has the nav mesh. But I don't know if he's doing it in the smart way, so it's just not loading it all, but it's just loading a piece. That I don't know. At the moment it's 10 gigabytes. 10 gigabytes is quite a bit. It's 10 gigabytes. I think it was 5 before. I mean, I can undo and see how big it is. It didn't take too much anyway to load, so we could, you know, just revert this and I can revert this file, which anyway I will not load. I'm not going to load, you know, a 1 GB file. You see, it's 7 MB originally. It's 7 MB. This file is 7 MB. Okay, let me try to launch the server again. And we see how much the client, we can do the same test on the client. But I think it would be the same. I think it will be the same. Now, this is the optimum setup, right? But we may also decide that in certain areas we don't have a navigation, right? We may decide that in certain areas the monsters cannot move, right? Doesn't mean that we need a, doesn't mean that, but we have the pet. Fuck. We have the player pet, because the player pet is using navigation as well to move around. So that's the problem. Is 7.8 GB, so the difference seems to be 2.2. Is something, huh? Consider also that at the moment we are running through the editor and we are running in debug mode. I mean, in, you know, yeah, debug game mode. So this is not compiled optimized, right? So it's not optimized in any way. It's just the game as it is. But it actually took 2.2 GB. Now, we may decide that we don't want, you know, we don't want navigation everywhere. The problem where there is no navigation, our NPC will get stuck. And I would say that's not very nice. Because it means that if you bring an NPC in an area where it cannot move, right? But the other problem I have is that, you know, when we said okay, we are just going to use the instance navigation around the navigation invoker, you know, around the specific creature, right? So if you have creatures everywhere, yeah, it's also true that if you decide that your range is anyway 1 kilometer, right, then probably you're going to survive. I don't know, we need to think about this, but it may be that we generate it on the fly, actually. $2.2 GB is a lot. 2.2 GB is a lot. It's really a lot. Let's say that the best way would be to identify so if this is our world, you know, I think the best way would be to identify some areas where the NPC can actually roam and generate the navigation path there only. The problem is that if you are in a place where the navigation is not generated, then your pet will not be able to will not be able to move, I guess. In a solution that works with infinite size world. Yeah, exactly. That was the idea, but seems to me that it's not that easy. Also, I don't know why I need to solve it, you know, when there are tons of Unreal Engine projects out there. I mean, it should be, because on Unreal Engine 5 they did new things for very large worlds, right? So they did something, but sometimes, you know, it's more advertising than real stuff. So this is what I never fully understand, right?
Hello everyone.
So I think they added something in Unreal Engine 5.
Worlds for players to explore and open boxes. Despite its popularity, open world creation has continued to be a difficult task for many developers. But with the release of Unreal Engine 5, creating these open worlds has never been easier.
Never been easier. So I'm sure if I go and watch the video of Unreal Engine 4 release, they would say, oh, in the past, creating open world has been extremely difficult. But now, with Unreal Engine 4, has never been easier, right? So, I mean, every time has never been easier, but still, you know, is a mess.
In this talk, I'm going to give a complete overview of the new open world features and how to set them up. This includes one file per actor, world partition, hierarchical levels of detail, or HLOD for short, minimaps, level instances, and data layers. Before we dive into these new features though, let's just start with a little bit of history to explain why these tools have been built. Now generally when you're working in Unreal on an open world project, you have two main problems.
Everything will be fine.
The first is working
Don't worry.
collaboratively, and the second is working at scale. Now I have two Unreal Engine 4 projects here to demonstrate these issues. The Kite demo and Shoot a Game. Starting with Shoot a Game, we have a relatively small map. Now, even working at this quite small scale, we still have issues working collaboratively on it. And that's because of the level structure that Unreal uses. All of this data, all of these positions, the actors that are being used, audio, all of that stuff is being held inside the level file, in this instance called High-Rise. And this is a binary file. What that effectively means is that only one person can right-click, check out that file,
Exactly.
and work on it in version
Exactly.
control. Once that's done, nobody else can touch it.
Exactly.
Now, there have been workarounds for this, and that comes in the form of sublevels. So you create a number of sublevels that are always loaded in, and they represent different sections of the game.
it's still a
Often they'll be
mess,
separated by the disciplines that the people are working in. And this has all been done so that people can work on these individual elements separately while working on the level as a collaborative whole. But this isn't an ideal solution, and it gets even worse at scale. So looking at the Kite demo, we have this thing called world composition, which is basically just a manager that handles all of the
Look at how
streaming
small
for
is
the
his freaking
sublevels.
world.
So I have my levels tab on the left here this time.
Maybe it's big, huh?
With all of the different levels that I have inside this map. And this is actually quite a small number of levels considering the size of this map. You can get incredibly granular with it. And what this allows me to do is import a grid of levels, and then from that grid and from those levels, it will generate all of the streaming distances that I'll use. I can create different rules for those streaming distances, and then I can also use it to generate LODs as well, which is in this bottom left panel here. But this wasn't an ideal solution either. World composition still uses the same level structure, which means that even if I'm only working in this small section of this 4-kilometer landscape, I still have to check out the entire section in order to work on it. And because we're still using the same level structure, I have to go in and manually make sure that I'm marking this as current if I want to work on it.
Yes.
Because if I start placing actors down with this cell marked as current,
Yes.
even if I'm placing them over here in
Yes.
the left corner, they'll still
It
be
happens to
marked.
me all the time that I'm placing an actor and the current level is not selected, and so the pain is that I need to move then the actor to another place, move to the map.
Marked as loading.
But
from
anyway,
this
I mean, that can
particular
be.
cell. So really, the key difficulty with open world development has always been down to the level structure that the engine used, and fixing that required a much larger rethink into how level data is stored and separated.
Okay.
Let's look at how
He's
these
convincing me. He's nearly convincing me. So he knows the problem. That's good. He knows the problem though.
issues have been addressed in Unreal Engine 5, starting with one file per actor. Now here's a level that I've done for this video, and it's currently done to a kind of placeholder plus standard, right? So I've got my assets, which are really just kind of representations of the volume and the color that they would be, but they're no more than that. They're just kind of there for me to be able to place. And then I've also just kind of gone through and I've scattered as much of this stuff as possible around the scene. So you can see we've got kind of a reasonable approximation of what the level of density on these assets would be, even if it's not, you know, kind of like the final cleanup on those particular assets. You might also notice as well that I have this little guy dotted around the scene who might be in a bit of a predicament in a few places, and I'm using this one to get a scale reference for everything I'm doing. So this is actually just a debug that I put in every scene that I'm working in, just to make sure that I'm always working at scale, and I find that really useful when I'm working at a scene of this size. So as I said, this is my level, and on the surface this looks just like a normal level, something that you might even see inside UE4. But there's a few key differences with this. And the main one is one file per actor.
What do you mean one file per actor? Is creating one file for each of these guys? I hope not. Probably what he means one file per type of actor or something like that. I don't know. Because one file per actor would be overkill.
So I have my level here like normal. This one's called more, and that's the particular level I'm working in. But you'll notice on the disk size, it's about 8 kilobytes. And that is significantly smaller than some of the other maps that we were working with. If we look at the kite demo assets, those maps can be anywhere from, you know, kind of several thousand to 300,000 kilobytes in size. So the main question is, what's happened to all that data that was sitting inside our level? And you know,
what did he say? He said 300 kilobytes inside. I think he meant 300 megabyte insides. What is he saying?
Maps can be anywhere from, you know, kind of several thousand to 300,000 kilobytes in size.
Okay.
So the main question is, what's happened to all that data that was sitting inside our level? And the answer to that is the external actors folder. If we have a look at our contents folder inside a browser, you can see we have the more map here, which is 8 KB.
Okay.
And then if we go to this folder called external actors, we have a folder for every map that we're using one file per actor in. If I go to more, you can see that we have a huge number of folders. And inside those folders, we may even have more folders with files. And each of these files is actually a reference to an asset that's in this world.
To an asset
every single
or to an
asset,
actor?
or almost every single asset, is actually an actor held inside the external actors folder.
Oh my god.
And that opens up some really interesting workflow options.
Oh my god.
Because now we have these individual file references. So let's say this actor over here is now a separate file. That means I can move it and change it. I can scale it, rotate it.
Oh my god.
And I'm not interfering with anyone else who may be working.
Every single rock
level.
is one file.
So now we've gone from quite a large scale workflow where we had to check out an entire level to a really granular workflow where we check out individual actors.
No, but
and we can actually
rocks are
preview
foliage,
this inside our world outliner. If we go to the right here, that we can enable source control in our columns, and then when I move this, it will actually check this out. And we get the little warning come up, check out actor, and you can see that this is the external actor reference. So we're looking at more 3D
Holy
Y9,
fuck.
and then we get a long string which represents the actual actor itself. And we can press checkout. And now we have a little green tick next to this particular asset, and this is now checked out by me. And anyone else who wants to work on this map can still do so. They can work on any of these actors in the world, but they can't work on
Yeah,
the
my problem is
checked
not
out actor.
release. My problem is managing files.
Just one last
and
tip
subversion.
with this to make things a bit easier. If you go into your editor preferences under edit, and then under loading and saving, go to the source control setting and then tick automatically check out on asset modification. This will automatically check out the file for you when you move it. If you want to use one file per actor, that's a really easy setting to do. So we just go to our world settings, type in external actors, and you'll see the tick box here. This will be on for any world partitioned map, and it just means that you'll be able to work much more collaboratively for all your projects. Now let's talk about world partitioning.
I don't know, this first part, let's say my real problem is not really to have one file per actor. My real problem is, well, somehow it is, because if my map becomes, 300 megabytes and I have to change one thing in it, I need to check in again 300 megabyte all the time. And while it is true that we are not checking in at every change, it's also true that now our repository is more than 50 gigabytes just because there are copy of stuff, right? So, hello Electra. I wonder how much disk these are taking just with the edits of those files. Yeah, because then there is the overhead of managing the file list. Yes. My trip was very good, thank you. It was nice. It was a nice trip. Well, actually, it was a work trip, so I mean, I didn't really have fun, but let's say because I was working. But it was a good trip.
You can think of world partition as the fully realized version of world composition, allowing
So this is the part that I'm more interested on, because at the moment, world composition is doing a bit of what we need, but at the end, it has so many constraints, like including the lights and the nav mesh and the boundaries. That anyway you have a maximum boundary in Unreal, so your world composition is not infinite. I mean, that is the size, that is the maximum size that you can have, and that's it, right? So I don't know. Let's see what it says here. I mean, the one file per actor is interesting for sure. When was this video published? It was September 21, so it's still relatively new. I mean, it's still okay, so okay.
you need to easily break up your world into those small streamable chunks. If we look at the world partition
Yeah, it was
section, it
successful,
actually
and
looks really similar
it was
to
good,
world
it was good.
composition, but there are a few key differences that make it a much easier tool to work with. Before, selecting and loading and unloading cells inside world composition was very slow, but with world partition this just isn't a problem. We can select as many cells as we like without any slowdown whatsoever, and loading and unloading is incredibly quick as well. Here I unload the entire level, like so, and then right click, load back in again, and a few seconds later we've got the entire level.
Well, that's for sure quicker than
But the most useful
EU4,
part
but
of world partition is that
depends
the
also how
grid
much
used
stuff
to
you have,
split up this world into all of those small chunks is now separated from the level and from the actors in it. And that means that actors are automatically just assigned to the correct cell that they're supposed to be in. That means that I can take an actor like this, I can duplicate it over to a new cell, like this one over the river. I can press save, and then when I select my old cell and unload it, you can see that mesh is still there.
Okay.
And if I unload
Well,
the
that's
new
good.
cell where my mesh is, you can see that it disappears.
Well,
the way
that's
we
just a
control how
handy
these
thing,
meshes
but
are assigned is in the Details tab of the actor. Under World Partition, we have a drop-down called Grid Placement, where we can choose whether the actor is streamed in based on the bounds, location, or whether it's just marked as always loaded.
I mean, okay, this is just a handy.
This
is just a handy way, but it's not really solving anything. I mean, this is okay. Okay, fine.
Can change our grid sizing for
I
how.
don't care about the grid
in this case,
size.
I just have the one, and we can choose the cell size low to 51,200. I can change this just by typing in a new number. Let's try 10,000.
Okay,
Then
fine.
new grid cell. This is
Fine.
You might also notice that the cell size listed here is actually different from the grid size listed under World Partition. And that's because the grid is locked to work at 512 meters. So all the cells that fit within this square will get loaded in when we need them. If you want to enable World Partition on your project, that's also quite an easy thing to do as well. If we go to Edit, Project Settings, and go down.
I mean,
to
what
World
is shown
Partition,
is shown
we can
just that the
enable World
meshes are
Partition.
automatically
We can make all
moved
new
between maps,
automatically
but
enable World Partition. We can also
okay.
tell the editor to enable a conversion prompt, which will ask you if you want to convert
It's not
your
really
current
saving
map
my life,
over to
you
a
know.
World Partition map whenever you load it. If you already have an environment inside World Composition, we can convert that as well.
Well, that's
We have a
nice.
custom commandlet that you can use. Just convert your project to Unreal Engine 5 and then run the commandlet targeting the master level. World Partition also comes with a mini-map feature as well. Your map may not look like this when you first load it, but if you go to console command section, type in WP,
Okay, the mini-map, no
show
one cares
reload
about a
button,
mini-map.
build outliner as well. If I press play on this scene, nothing really looks like it's changed, but actually the vast majority of these assets have actually been swapped out for their proxy node equivalent. If I go to the command tab and type in wp.runtime
Okay.
and then hlod and set that to 0, that will disable all of the hlods that I currently have in my environment. And you can see that the vast majority of assets have actually been removed. If I turn this back on, you can see that all of our assets return. And we can... The center of the circle represents the player character. The outer ring represents the distance that we're generating around. The line represents my view direction. And the green squares represent the cells that are being loaded in. Red squares being the cells that are loaded out.
Okay.
The world partition generation is actually set up in a commandlet, but we have a few settings that we can modify in our editor first. Inside our world settings, we go down to our
but
default
this part I don't
specifiable
really care.
lowest LOD for these be the set any of the mesh. We can also mark these to layer, provide arguments inside that project. You can just double click the generation. But that two new systems come into play: data layers and level instances.
Okay, this may be interesting.
Let's start with data layers.
For now, it's just handy tools to ease a bit the pain, you know, but it's not really solving the core problem, for what I see.
Inside the Windows tab, you can find the
Apart from, okay, the one file per actor, but it is really if you need to collaborate with a lot of people. I mean, it's probably going to save me definitely some space in SVN, and it's probably going to be a bit better. I have to test it to see how it works, but my problem is light generation and nav mesh generation. So those are the two issues that I really have.
data layers tab. I already have mine active over here. And what data layers allow you to do is have a very granular level of control over what assets you're streaming in.
What do you mean that I locked you? What do you mean that I locked you in front of the... you cannot walk up? Ah, no, you are inside of that. I don't know, probably because you are spawning. Yee! You are spawning there, but it seems that this level is not working as expected. It seems that there are some blockers. But anyway.
And why?
I
So let's
freed
say we
you
want to
all.
create a mission where our player is tasked with catching some fish. And I have some markers in order to do that. So I have this mission marker over here, and I can place a few of these down to kind of guide the player, kind of where I want them to go, in this case, to the river. So I've created these mission markers, but I don't always want them to be loaded. I only want these markers to be loaded when the player starts the mission. So the way that I manage that is by putting them into a data layer. Now at the moment we don't have any data layers, so we need to make one. So I'm going to create an empty data layer, and I'm going to rename this mission underscore get fish.
So it's like,
and
these are like view
I'm
layers
going to
you can
assign to the
turn on
mission
and off based on what you
get
want
fish
to see. I mean, that's nice, but
so I can take these layers, I can hide them and unhide them.
it would be
using
interesting
this
to
little
know
eye
if these
symbol.
layers are
And I
saving
can
also.
control how they're streamed as well. So if I turn on is dynamically loaded, I can set the streaming rules for these items.
So I'm just pausing a second. I think it would be nice if the layer becomes a file, right, with all those things inside. It would be very nice.
So the initial state for these is that I don't want them to be loaded, because I only want to load this in when I start the new mission. I don't need them to be as initially visible. And for this one, I don't need to generate HLODs because I'm only going to have this mission data in here. So I'm not putting in a lot of mesh content, so I don't need to generate HLODs for these either. And now when I press play, you can see that these markers aren't visible. And that's because they're not loaded in, we're not using them at the moment, and they're unloaded. But now we need to load these assets in. So for this example, I'm just going to expose these to a key press. So this is my base character controller, and I'm just going to...
I don't need this, but...
follow these markers all the way to at some point.
Do you think that the data layer are actually
on the
saved
data
into a
layer
separate
section for
file?
the actor, it's actually an array, not just fish. We want to put this mission underscore through the same fish spawn. The other one, then a example of this at a much larger scale, can be found in the Valley of the Ancients demo. In this example, we enter Dark World becomes active. With Dark World.
Guys, I need to go to dinner, but I will watch this till the end. I mean, I think we've seen pretty much all of it, but because it's 5 minutes left, but I don't know. I think we need to be tested, and if the layers can actually be separate in files instead of having the one file per, I think would be pretty good. Because for example, you could put all the sounds in one file, and you can put, I don't know, all the vegetation in another file. So if someone is working on that layer, then is there a data layer per file or not? No. Maybe not. Pity. That was the only thing that I needed. But anyway, I'm gonna go, boys. So I will see you soon tomorrow evening. Tomorrow evening I will be here and we can do more stuff. Okay? See you, boys! Tomorrow! If you want to click on follow on Twitch and subscribe on YouTube, that would be good. Also, if you want to go to patreon.com/planeshift, you can get access to the alpha. And oh, we are 57, so someone joined. We were 56 yesterday. So thank you to whoever joined or came back, because sometimes we have people coming back more than, you know, joining new. But no, we also have people joining new actually. But thank you a lot and see you tomorrow. Let me see who joined. We have a new Patreon. Christian. Hey, thank you, Christian. Hey, thank you, Christian, for the Patreon pledge. Thank you. See you guys. Bye bye.